Sicario de Soldado is another story set in the world of Sicario, but whereas the first film was told from the perspective of Emily Blunt's character, who is an outsider to this war on drugs, this story is told from the perspective of Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro's characters. When the drug cartels start trafficking terrorists into the United States, Josh Brolin's character is brought in to start a war between the different drug cartels, and he hires Benicio del Toro's character to make this happen. While this movie might not be of the same pedigree as the first film, it's still a very solid follow-up to the original film. Now, before I go into my full thoughts, go ahead and tell me down below in the comment section, what did you think about Sicario de Soldado? And also let me know your thoughts on the original film and kind of how that all ties together. With that said, let's get started talking about the good. And the best thing about this movie is that we're just going back into this world of the original Sicario that has this dark, seedy atmosphere that surrounds everything. There's no clear heroes in this world. There's just a messy situation and good guys being brought in to do bad things and bad guys who are doing good things. And it's just, I don't know, fun's not the right word for it, but it's interesting and exciting to go into this seedy world and watch what they have to do to try and stop worse things from happening. And our two leads in this movie, of course, are Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro. And they do a great job of playing these characters that, on the one hand, are horrible human beings that are doing things that you cannot possibly defend, but they play them with such sincerity and they so firmly believe in what they're doing that you almost buy into the worldview of it all, that it's okay to kill people for the sake of the greater good. And in this movie, their characters essentially get a little bit more humanity as we spend a little bit more time with them, kind of soaking in their perspective, how they relate to other people. And so they're fleshed out a good bit more in this film. But even the way it plays out when they do these horrible things, it's not kind of relishing in kind of action movies where they're just dropping one-liners and just they take guys out to make sure they have a good finishing line. No, it plays out very straightforward as guys that are doing a job that they firmly believe in, that they need to do this to stop far worse things from happening. The movie also has a number of very tense sequences, especially starting out right out of the gate in this movie where certain terrorist attacks happen and you're watching as you know something horrific is about to happen and it unfolds right in front of your eyes, and it's kind of like a single long take in one of the sequences that just makes it so much more jarring and feeling like you're sitting there watching this happen. And that sense of tension runs throughout the entire movie, where you're talking about when they do have more action-based sequences, as you're just wondering, as you're watching this movie where they are willing to kill off anyone, children, women, innocent, guilty. They will kill anyone in this movie. So as situations play out inside of it, you're actually nervous for who might die, what might happen in each of these situations, and it adds a level of unpredictability to the entire film. From there, let's move on to the mixed aspects of the movie. And the big thing for me is that the main plot scheme of our lead characters, on the one hand, it's interesting to kind of see this story about what about if you had this guy like Josh Brolin, who's meant to do the dirty work for the government, to just kind of raise the stakes of these sorts of drug wars, that if you're going to mess with the United States, we're going to mess with you back. And how would he mess with them, do psychological warfare, turn them against each other? That's all interesting on the big, broad level, but when you move in a little bit closer on the specifics of what his plan is, it starts to get really convoluted. It starts to be like, really? This is what you're going to do? And there's this many moving pieces and so many places where things could go wrong. That doesn't feel like this is the direction that you would go if you're trying to accomplish what you say you're trying to accomplish. There's probably much easier ways to do this. And even in some of the stuff they do at the beginning of the movie where they montage some of the starting pieces to their plan, it seems like, yeah, that will accomplish your end goal. You don't need to do this really complicated, highly risky piece to it that's really the central plot of the movie. And from there, let's move on to the bad. And there's kind of two things that really bother me about the movie. The first one is at the beginning, as I just mentioned, they have some of these little pieces that they put in place as they're starting their plan to start the drug war between the cartels. It montages through some things real quick. Like as soon as it's set up and Benicio is hired, it just kind of immediately kind of skips to then this happens, then this happens, and then this happens, to put a bunch of pieces in place so we can start our main plot line about a little girl. And it seemed like they could have added probably about 10 more minutes to the movie. It's not like the movie felt overlong to me. I didn't think it was overlong. So you could have added a little bit more into the movie to flesh that out so it didn't just feel like we were rushing so much to get to our main plot line. But really, my biggest issue with this film is the third act, because I was all on board for the first 2 acts, just this tense action thriller, intriguing world, all bought into it. And then as we move into the third act, too much of the story starts to become about coincidence. The way the third act plays out, it's so much about coincidence, and then these characters just happening to be at the right place at the right times, and things happening that it's not because the villains, the bad guys, this teenage kid, Benicio del Toro, were so clever in their proactive choices that they made. People just happen to be at places. Things just happen to happen. Therefore, our story can play out and things can be resolved. That doesn't make for great storytelling when so much has to be coincidence. I understand the start of a movie, you have coincidence happens, and there just has to be so much that you have to buy that that's what a story is. Something unlikely happens. But then when your third act is happening just because of unlikely events, unlikely rendezvous between characters, once again, it's very frustrating when stories start to do that, and it really pulled me out of the movie. And then one kind of smaller thing, the literal place where the movie ends was very abrupt and seemed odd. Like, I'm not quite sure what they were going for, but I don't think it left the proper final impression on me or the people I talked to after watching the movie. A lot of us felt like that was weird, that's where they went with the very end of this movie. So if I was going to score this one, I'd have to go with a B, and on an entertainment level, a 7.5. I probably would have bumped that up to a B+, probably an 8.5, if not for the third act feeling like it fell apart a little bit and wasn't quite as satisfying as the first 2 acts of the movie. If I were to kind of make a comparison for this movie, just throwing back to an old movie that I grew up watching called Clear and Present Danger. It's a Jack Ryan movie. And this movie felt a lot like a modern version of Clear and Present Danger, except told from the perspective of Willem Dafoe and Raymond Cruz's characters, like the guys on the ground. So if that story was told from their perspective, that's what this movie felt like. And that's very much a compliment coming from me. That's a positive. Anyway, that's my take on the movie. How about you? Tell me your thoughts down below in the comment section. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did it live up to your expectations? Or this is just another cash grab, unnecessary sequel in your mind? Tell me your thoughts down below. And if you're new to my channel, please consider clicking that subscribe button. I do movie reviews, TV reviews, ranking videos. But the key thing is I don't want to just talk about movies. I want to talk about movies with you. So please join me down in the comment section. Let's have a lively discussion about this movie as well as the previous one and kind of how they compare with one another. Also, if you've already clicked that subscribe button, consider ringing that bell so you get notifications when I post new videos. And as always, thank you for watching.